Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to begin this week's press conference with opening statement from Coach Simmons, and then we will open up to questions.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Much needed home game this week. We've gone on the road first 2 weeks and taking our lumps. As a team, there's a lot of soul searching the last couple of days, and collectively feel it's, like I said, good to be back home, just to be in the confines of Bradley Memorial Stadium in front of our rabid fan base in a game that we desperately need to get back on track. And team's a little bit fragile right now, which is to be expected after two heartbreaking losses, one in embarrassing fashion this past weekend. But this is a resilient group of guys, and I feel confident that this coaching staff will do what's needed to get these guys back playing good football, because we definitely didn't do that this past weekend. But again, excited about another opportunity to do what we do and get these guys back to having that feel good feeling after winning a football game. So we know we'll have a tough Albany State team coming in this weekend that won't be intimidated by us. That'll be confident, and we'll definitely need to play good football to beat a really, really good football team. So, but that's why we play the game, to play these type of matchups, and we're excited about the opportunity to play in front of our home crowd. So look forward to answering your questions about last week's game or about the upcoming week.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, Gerald.
How you doing this morning?
Doing well.
All right, so Coach, of course, it was a disappointing loss on Sunday. Just tell me, you kind of touched on a little bit. Just tell me about just the morale of your team. Just that ride back to Tallahassee that y'all took after the game, and then also just moving forward. Tell me how y'all will utilize this week to kind of get your heads back and prepare for Albany State.
Well, obviously, a lot of mixed emotions after Sunday's loss. So gave them yesterday off to just kind of decompress and trying to clear their heads, and brought them in this morning for a team meeting. And we just kind of had a heart-to-heart, let some guys share how they felt about last week, the game, how they felt the last few weeks. And so obviously there's a lot of frustration, a lot of guys that are questioning, some things, and that's the typical response for an 18 to 23-year-old. So we're just in the business of raising men and letting them know that, in life, there are going to be challenges. In life, there are going to be setbacks. And, the successful people in life have an uncanny ability to process that information, to learn from it, to get back to being who we are, and to go and put in the work that needs to be put in to be successful. And so that's really what we're focusing on right now. There's a lot to learn from the first 2 weeks. There's still a lot of things that we have not done correctly, in all three phases. So we definitely have to fix those as coaches. But as far as the players go, I think their mindset, their mentality, and them believing in our 7 F's and what we do every single day is really where they have to be. And so really good talk this morning. And I think it'll cause the guys to respond in a major way, just because we're able to get some things out in the open. And I think this team will be better for it.
Morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Just, well into the first quarter and second quarter, into that first half, you guys were in this game and just couldn't seem to get something going on offense. I'm curious, after watching the film, just kind of what you saw. That was kind of that thing you kept running into on the offensive side of the ball that kept stalling your drives, and then on the defensive side, just kind of what made it so difficult to kind of contain Shedeur throughout the game.
Well, offensively, I think we just avoided contact way too much. Up front, we didn't play with great pad level, and so we got pushed back, a lot. Out wide, we avoided their reroutes the entire evening, and so it closed off our throwing windows. It forced Jeremy to not be able to see the entire field, because you got a lot of bodies in one area, so he wasn't able to pinpoint, the receivers or the defensive backs, and underneath coverage, and they played a little bit more zone than we had anticipated. And so they did a really good job of trying to, reroute our guys and impede our progress in route running, and they succeeded in that, because we allowed them to. And so we just never got in rhythm, never got in sync. And so we weren't able to utilize our tempo. When we utilized tempo and we did the right things, we were able to move the ball and create some field position advantages, but just didn't finish. We didn't finish drives. We didn't finish blocks. We ran the ball hard. I thought the running backs ran hard. They didn't turn it down, but I think everywhere else we played. We didn't play aggressive enough. We didn't play physical enough, and so I think that's where the shortfalls came on offense. And then defensively, I think we have to switch the picture up a little bit more. With quarterback of Shador's caliber, he's grown up around the game his whole life. He understands the game, and for us to just line up and show him a picture, you give him all the answers to the test, he's going to get the right answer, and he got the right answer all but 4 times on Sunday. I'm sorry. So just being able to mix the picture up, confuse the quarterback a little bit, and then manufacture some ways to get to them. They got to us a few times. It was a 3-man rush twice, I believe. We only got to them once with a 4-man rush, and that was Isaiah Land. Well, twice. One time he thought he threw it and kind of pulled up. But outside of 2 times Isaiah got to Shador, we really didn't sniff him. And a quarterback of his caliber, you're not going to slow them down if you allow them to get comfortable. And I think he was pretty comfortable the entire evening.
Coach, when you look at the 4th and 1 play, where you put McKay in the game at that point, what was going through your mind during that time, and why you think it was a good opportunity for him to come in the game at that point?
Well, honestly, I thought it was a first down. I thought Jeremy reached the ball out and got the first down. They actually moved the first down markers. The side judge to our sideline marked the spot past the first down marker. And so, I was going to take Jeremy out for a play or two just to kind of settle him down for a second and then put him back in. So in my mind, 1st and 10, we were going to take a shot with Rashawn, just let him take a shot, push the ball down the field, feeling like we get man coverage. And then all of a sudden, the coaches from the box are yelling down this 4th and 1, coach. And so it was probably in hindsight, should have called a timeout, regroup, got everybody together. We were in a big personnel grouping, 2 tight ends on the field. And so we called a pretty safe run play that I thought, we hand the ball off, we'll get the first down and we'll move the chains. Rashawn thought that the bubble was there with the 2 receivers outside, because that's typically what we do in the run game. We'll tag, fast screens and quick game too, a lot of our runs in our RPO system. But the receivers didn't get that signal. They were still running the deep route that was signaled in before. So just miscommunication. It starts with me. Should have burned the timeout. Should have got everybody regrouped. Got our best football play in. Thought we called a safe play. Thought we would hand the ball off, but we did it, right? And that's all a part of the learning curve. And Rashawn is being a quarterback and trying to make the right play. And sometimes sometimes we make a decision that if it doesn't work out, it looks like a bad decision. That's 2 weeks in a row. So again, it's all about learning. He'll learn from it. Jeremy will learn from it. Up front, there's some things to learn from. Out wide, we got to learn to watch the signal if we change a play. And so again, just little things like that were indicative of how the night went. But obviously, that 4th down call is on me as a head coach. I gotta manage that situation a little bit better to calm everybody down, get us in a better football play if we're going to decide to go for it.
Hey, Coach, just, when it comes to looking at even just last year, for your guys to be able to bounce back the way they did, after a tough loss to Jackson State, this team has the capability of bouncing back. And, was that part of that message? They were able to win, 9 of their next 10 games and being able to, go on another run, and certainly your chances at a SWAC title are not, out the window. That part of that message, these guys know there's a lot of football to play.
Yeah, no question. Obviously, one of the early things we talked about was that there's a lot of football left to play, right? We're 0-1 in conference play. We'll game behind Jackson, right? They're a really good football team. There's a lot of football left to play for them as well. So they could lose twice and we're right back in this thing. If they only lose once or they're going undefeated, then obviously we're in the same boat that we were in last year, trying to fight for that large playoff berth. I think we have a team capable of doing that. I definitely think we have the talent in all three phases. We just have to get back to playing really good football and build our resume up to the point where people would think that we're one of the top 24 teams in America. And so that's really where our focus is now. But it's not even on postseason at this point. It's on just getting the win. We got to get a win. We got to get this nasty taste out of our mouths about losing, and particularly in the fashion that we lost in this past Sunday. And we got to find a way to put 4 quarters of good football together in all three phases. And if we do that, the talent will take care of itself. But mentally, we just weren't there, right? There were a lot of things that attributed to that. And as a coach, it's my job to figure out how to make sure that mentally we're in position to play on Saturday. But after a good talk today, and I think some more discussions throughout the week, we'll dial these guys back in and get them back to playing high level football like we all know they're capable of playing.
Coach, Chris Hayward with CBS Los Angeles. I wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions about Jeremy and just the qualities that you saw in him when he transferred in that you think are really going to ring true this year, and just, his journey, different stops and the perseverance that he's had to go through. In what ways do you think that could help your ball club this year?
Well, I think the resiliency that he's shown throughout his career is something that all of us can learn from. He's had his share of highs and lows as a post high school graduate quarterback. Went to Hawaii out of high school, didn't stay long, didn't play a lot. Transferred to San Bernardino College down in California and lit it up, and then transferred to Vanderbilt, and it was a backup for the last 2 seasons. And so he's played high level football as far as on the field. He's been at high level programs, but has not played quite as much during those stops. And then obviously comes here in week 1 and has a really, really stellar game. And then in week 2, arguably has one of his worst games of his career. And so for him, it's about the resiliency that he's willing to show. But it's about the resiliency that our entire team is willing to show. How hard are we willing to work? Are we going to be critical of ourselves? Are we going to take the coaching that we've been given and then apply it to practice and ultimately to the game? And that's where we are right now. Jeremy was just in here with me watching film on the game, and he's still asking the right questions. He's still trying to figure out where he went wrong. And I have no doubt that he'll come back stronger and better as a result of this game. And the hope is that the entire team follows suit, and that we, again, look introspectively at what we've done, have not done, and figure out how to do those things in order to get us back to our winning ways.
Thank you.
And Coach, how much does a home game environment kind of if you get into that home environment at Bragg, kind of give these guys a little bit of motivation to pull off a win, their first win of the year?
I think it's huge. One of our goals going into the season was to be undefeated at home. And we know the crowd will be electric. My student section, again, is looking forward to a great game. The March 100 will be there playing. Albany State's going to bring their fair share because they're only an hour and 45 minutes away. And so, again, I think it will be a great atmosphere. It feels good to be back home. And I definitely look forward to eating our calf and meeting over in Gaither Gym and doing a Rattler walk, dressing in our locker room, all of the pregame routines and rituals that we have here that gives us a comfort zone, right? And so to be able to be here for 3 straight weeks, I think will definitely go a long way in helping this football team find our mojo back. Right now, we've seemed to have lost it, but I think it's somewhere here in the stadium or in the field house on the football field here at Bragg, and I'm pretty sure that once we get out there, we'll find it, and we'll get back to playing the brand of football that people have come to love and expect here from this program.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
What dangers or what are some of the problems that Albany can pose to your defense?
Their offense to pose our defense?
Yes.
Okay. They have a veteran quarterback that's returning. Led them to a playoff berth last season. So he's a proven guy. They have some dynamic playmakers on the perimeter, and again, they play hard. They play extremely hard and tough, and they're fundamentally sound, right? And I've got an opportunity to work alongside Coach G, Coach Gardenia, down at the Legacy Bowl this past year, and they have 2 head coaches there, myself and him. I got to listen to his pregame speech to the guys, and then I gave my pregame speech. I think I might have gone first, but he's a very, very passionate, intense guy. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to be juiced up. They're going to come out of the locker room fired up, and they won't back down. So again, it's a great challenge for our football team. But we know they're going to hit. They're going to try to play hard and play fast, and we just have to match their intensity and exceed it. And that's the challenge for our football team this week.
Thanks, Coach.
Keith Hadley, HBCU Digital Fangs Up podcast. I had a question as far as, and you kind of alluded to it somewhat. Will we see some differences as far as in coverage from the secondary? I noticed we ran a lot of zone defense, and this seems like a great opportunity where we could potentially just shake some things up.
Well, our defense has been based up. We played a zone scheme since we've gotten here. Right? We're not a big man-to-man football team. We like to keep everything in front, break on the ball, and take away the easy throws. I think Sunday, we didn't do a good job of that. We gave up way too many easy completions. We missed some open field tackles when they caught the ball underneath, and that's what offense the defense doesn't perform very well when we do those type of things. Just like offensively, if we can't take advantage of our access throws, which we didn't do a great job of this weekend, it's gonna be tough for us to move the ball offensively. So we just got to get back to the basics of tackling, of alignment, the assignment, throwing and catching. We do those things, blocking and running. We do those things. I think we'll be just fine. So for us, it's more about fundamental corrections. It's about understanding the grand scheme of what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it. And once we get that part down, again, I think we have a chance to be a pretty special unit.
Hey, Coach, how much do you think that the temperature played in that game? I know that one side of the field, it seemed like it had shade. The other side, FAMU side, seemed like it was pretty hot over there. I seen a couple of people, leaving the stands from the March 100, people not hydrated as well. And I know you guys, been in the heat all fall camp, but in a game like that, when the pressure's on, how much do you think that the heat played a factor in the fatigue part of the game?
Well, it obviously affected us. I think the real-time temperature was about 97 degrees on the field. And so for our guys, it got pretty hot. And we had a few guys cramp up. We had a few guys have to get IVs during the game. And we played a lot of snaps, on defense. And a lot of those guys play special teams as well. So when you're playing close to 100 snaps in the game, obviously it can have a pretty physical stress on your body. So for us, it's about hydration. It's about rest. We've run enough during training camp. I think we're in decent game shape. Obviously, the more you play, the more game shape you get into. But I think a lot of it boils down to our nutrition, to our rest, and doing those little things to make sure that we're fueling our bodies the right way, and then resting enough to allow our bodies to perform at the highest level it needs to come game day.
Any more questions?
Coach, just a quick nuts and bolts question. What is that number for the players still not certified? Is it still at 8?
As of right now, it's at 8. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
One more question for Coach. All right. Appreciate it, everyone.
Thank you, guys. See y'all this week.
I think you go.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.